That's a 505 Dundas streetcar making its way into Broadview Station. And that there is the intersection of Broadview and Danforth.
I was surprised that I like.
And normally around this time of year, the Taste of the Danforth Festival would be taking place along here, running between Broadview and Danforth and Jones Avenue. That heads through the Playter Estates and Greektown neighborhoods. But once again, it has been canceled. Costs and logistics were the cited reasons, including these pesky bike lanes. But the real culprit, at least in my opinion, is an incompetent BIA, or Business Improvement Area Association, that represents all the businesses along this stretch of Danforth. Oh, sounds like we've got some sirens. Heading north up Broadview. Oh, and hey there, today is Saturday, August 9th. It is exactly 6 p.m. and the temperature is a very hot 31 degrees Celsius. And that's a look to the west towards downtown, which is just on the other side of the Don Valley. But for this one, we'll be walking through the area where Taste of the Danforth would have been held. I think traditionally it's been held on the second weekend of August, from Friday to Sunday. I think it was no secret that it was going to be canceled this year, but it wasn't actually officially announced until quite recently. And these sidewalk patios are another reason cited for the cancellation.
What do you want to have you got?
So I'll talk a little bit about the festival and its history, and a little bit more as to why it was canceled. But across the street is the Danforth Music Hall. That opened back in 1919, but it didn't become a live music venue until the 70s. And in 2006 it was restored and reopened. Sold out August 9th. Nima Naz, I don't know who that is. Doors 5:45 to 8:45.
Remember I said there was something.
There's a number of patios on the other side of the street. Perhaps I should have picked that side to start this video off on. But the festival, which is one of the largest and most popular of its kind in the city, started in 1993. There's Factory Girl restaurant across the street. And it grew rapidly. By 1996, there were 500,000 visitors each year. And in 2008, it surpassed over 1 million visitors. Just along this 1.5 kilometer stretch. It was canceled in 2020 and 2021 due to COVID. was around the time these bike lanes were being installed, and the city implemented its Cafe TO program, allowing restaurants to build out sidewalk patios, both of which were extremely well received by the general public. But the local BIA was very much opposed to both of those much needed measures being implemented. They were quite vocally opposed to the bike lanes in particular. And they state that one of the reasons it was canceled was due to logistic issues, as the bike lanes and patios get in the way. But the Taste of Little Italy, which is a very large and popular festival, has very similar infrastructure to deal with. As there's bike lanes along College, they've been holding that festival every year without a hitch. So there were streetscape concerns. And even though they held the festival once back in 2023, it was canceled again in 2024. They cited not enough time to adapt to accommodate the festival along the street, which is kind of a bullshit reason. They've had plenty of time, and they've already seen how the Little Italy BIA did it. And a lot of the local restaurants have expressed concerns that the added revenue is much needed. That church is being converted, I believe, into a senior's residence. As we walk alongside the north side of Danforth. We are not actually in Greektown until we get past Chester coming up. As I mentioned, this area is the Playter Estates, and line 2, the Bloor-Danforth line, runs parallel to Danforth, just about half a block north of it. Well, the pedestrian traffic is at least picking up a bit. I know someone who works in that bookshop. I always take a look to see if she's there, but I didn't see her. But it had grown into one of, if not the biggest street festival of its kind. You'd find a lot of Greek and other food along the way. There was a midway with kids' rides, climbing walls, street hockey, and basketball. Multiple stages featuring Greek acts and concerts and that sort of thing. There's Astoria Restaurant. And there was a kids' fun zone.
Yeah, we're Mezzes.
And over the years, it raised millions for local hospitals and local Greek community causes. There's Lewis Cipher, or where Lewis Cipher once was.
Yeah, so I end up getting, and then they have pajamas. I bought one.
But we are firmly in Greektown now. There's Mezzes. It's one of the most popular restaurants here that moved into the old Pape restaurant. They were a victim of Doug Ford's pandemic restrictions. This area has one of the highest concentrations of restaurants per square foot in North America. That place is a particularly good value, Massini. So when all the restrictions went in place and businesses weren't even remotely fairly compensated for not being able to operate, it's no surprise there were more victims of those restrictions on this stretch than you typically see elsewhere in the city. It was really hard hit. This is Logan Avenue coming up. And apparently about 44% of the attendees of Taste of the Danforth were from 40 kilometers or more away. And 39% came to Toronto specifically for the festival. I remember in the 90s, I worked at a fast food joint in Mississauga. And a friend who also worked there and his family would always make the trek out here for a Taste of the Danforth. And this is the newly redesigned Alexander the Great parquet. Got this nice fountain. There's some excellent Greek takeout. They rebuilt this and it reopened last year. I think this Greek style tiling is new. There's Alexander the Great. Looks kind of narrow. I'll just give them a little bit of space. There's Christina's, a popular restaurant in the area. Yeah, apparently these pesky patios in the bike lanes, two things Little Italy has in spades, were a big logistical problem, even though they successfully held Taste of the Danforth in 2023. There's Casa Manila. Also, I think there was a funding shortfall of a little over $200,000. It was also cited as a reason for canceling the event. They probably could have made that up with sponsorships. And this, I believe, used to be Atlantis. Now it's Ballyhoo Public House. I want to take a look at their menu. Maybe I'll go there later tonight. I've been to Fox and the Fiddle a number of times. But Greektown became a major Greek hub post-World War II. And by the 1970s, it became the largest Greek town in North America. It was dubbed Little Athens. Rivals Sports Pub. I could go for a $6 pint. I was reading some of the comments on Reddit, and there was one that stuck out as kind of funny. I just had it on my phone and I think I lost it. One Redditor said, "Taste of the Danforth is no great loss. The patios and bike lanes are year-round improvements. And every other neighborhood in the city has figured out how to make it work. So really, for the Danforth, it's just laziness." I don't know the logistics of pulling off a big street festival, but none of the other major ones have been canceled, and this one was easily one of the most popular. Even though ultimately it became a festival of overpriced fast food and lemonade, or rather street food. You saw just as much churros and potatoes on a stick as you would Greek food. It's the Holy Name Church on the left, and a neat mural. So coming up at Pape here, just to the north is Pape Station. And due to Ontario line construction, we're going to be forced to cross over to the south side. Price War, there's one of these, or I think there still is, on Bloor Street, across from where Honest Ed's used to be.
Hell no, you never want to throw the second you do that, the second they're going to.
I was giving that guy legal advice from the sounds of it. Yeah, Pape Station is just to the north of here, as well as Pape Village. I think someone should tell this, oh, I was going to say this BMW owner their signal is broken, but it just magically fired up. That used to be a Nando's Chicken across the street, but it was another pandemic victim, one of the many in the area. And this used to be where the Momo House was. It was an excellent Momo restaurant. And this stretch really suffers from a lack of greenery and natural shade. And we're just going to keep going to where Greektown ends at Jones Avenue. That's where the festival would have ended.
Hey, you want to bring a...
No.
This is Athens Restaurant. There's some pretty excellent values in that bakery. But I got the impression that the local BIA had a bone to pick with the city. And they were using the bike lanes as a scapegoat for canceling the festival the first go around. But if you come along here for the morning or afternoon rush hour, these are very well used bike lanes. And the patios provide a much needed boost to local businesses. And ultimately, as someone who goes to a lot of the big festivals, just recording for this channel, I don't think we lost anything special. It had really kind of devolved into a pretty generic street festival. There was nothing special or unique about it. I think Westfest is kind of taking the mantle of being the biggest and most popular street festival of its kind. There's literally dozens of them throughout the summer in the city. And I think there's one that's across the street here. Might be a little more interesting and at least a little more shaded on the north side. There's one coming up in Little Jamaica near me in a week or two. We've got the C&E starting next week. This used to be a Papa John's. I'm curious to hear your thoughts and comments on the cancellation of Taste of the Danforth. The online sentiment seems to be it's no big deal or big loss. As you can see, that's a pretty long festival route. And across the street is Square Boy. Pretty legendary local burger spot, and the patio is full. Easily one of the best values in the city can be had there. And just a little further along the street is the only cafe, but that is mission accomplished. We're gonna wrap this one up. So thanks again for watching this. I look forward to your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Also, there's some links to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are doing quite well lately. All right, I've got to go get some dinner. I'll be doing that in this area, and then I might go film another video or two. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. Yoink.